For those who follow my videos regularly, you will know that I talk about my own experiences quite often. However, I have generally never touched upon my own experiences when creating these inspirational and motivational videos. This week I want to change that. For as long as I can remember, I've always been a half glass empty, negative, pessimistic kind of guy. Throughout my life, people have always picked up on this, including my friends and family, but I never knew how to change my way of thinking. The reality is, I thought I'd never change. That is until I had a reality check whilst in hospital early this year, and ever since then I've become a half glass full, positive, optimistic kind of guy. I won't for a second suggest that every thought I ever have from now on will be positive. That would simply be unrealistic. However, I've certainly begun to notice that with positive thinking comes positive actions and outcomes. And equally, on the opposite side of things, I can look back and honestly say that the negative thinking I used to possess had an incredibly negative impact on my life. This would vary from things such as friendships to relationships and go as far as employment. I cannot and will not pretend that I have all the answers for how you can change from being half glass empty to half glass full, negative to positive, pessimistic to optimistic. There is, like many things in life, no one-size-fits-all rule to improving yourself. That said, I do know that once you find what works for you, you'll never look back at the negativity you once owned. Everyone is different, and therefore what may work for someone may not work for somebody else. It may be that, just like myself, it will take something major in your life to happen for you to grasp the fact that you need to change. Alternatively, it may be something as simple as watching this video and realising that you need to change the way you think and behave. Even when you find what it takes for you to change, it's still ultimately up to you to make that change. For example, I had two options when laying in the hospital. I could have continued to give up on my life, spiral even further downwards and continue to be negative. Or I could take the other choice and I could choose to take this as an opportunity to reevaluate my life, use this as a turning point and grow to be more positive. You still need to remember though to be realistic. Whilst being positive and optimistic is certainly always going to be the better option versus negativity, you still need to have an air of realism about you to ensure that you are prepared for things to not go as you would like or expect. You could be the most positive person in the entire world, but even then that does not mean everything is going to go the way you wish. If that were the case, we'd all be entering the lottery and having everything we could ever dream of. But I do genuinely believe that if you see life in a more positive light, you will find life itself becomes more positive and rewarding. And whilst I stand by everyone being different, I believe there are some things we can all do to gradually find our positive paths. It's important to remember that actually our lives are full of so many positives, and sometimes it's easy for us to forget the positive factors we have in our own lives because we're so caught up in everyone else's. My suggestion, although remarkably simple, I believe also amazingly effective, is that before you go to sleep each night, you list a couple of positive things you have in your life. A paramedic gave me this suggestion during my darkest hours, and whilst this alone hasn't led to the change that I've experienced, I believe it was the beginning. As said by Roy T. Bennett, the more you feed your mind with positive thoughts, the more you can attract great things into your life.